All right, in this video, we are going to find or evaluate the limits given in these questions over here. And what we'll notice in these questions is we have fractions that are adding or subtracting. So let's start with the first question here. If I sub in 0, I have 1 divided by 0. And 1 divided by 0 is infinity. And over here, if I sub in 0, I have again 1 divided by 0, which is infinity. So I have infinity minus infinity, which is an indeterminate case, so you cannot use this as a solution. Means we have to simplify this. In order to simplify this, we must make a common denominator. When you have quadratic equations, the first thing you want to do is you want to factor. So I can't factor this first fraction over here, but this second fraction, I can factor a common factor in x, and I'm left with x plus 1. And now x is common between the two denominators, so I just need to multiply the top and bottom over here by x plus 1 to make a common denominator. So now in my next step, I have a common denominator of x times x plus 1. And in the top, 1 times x is x, 1 times 1 is 1, and then I have a minus 1 there. And now I can simplify by combining like terms in the top, never expand out the bottom. So 1 minus 1 is just a 0, so I just have x on the top and x plus 1 on the bottom. Now I can cancel out these two x's, so I'm just left with 1 over x plus 1. And then once you do the cancellation, that's when you know you can sub in your limit. So if I replace x with 0, I'm just left with 1 over 1, which is my final answer in this question, which is just 1. All right, let's take a look at the second question over here. Again, same idea. If I sub in 5 into the bottom there, I'll get 0. 1 divided by 0 is infinity. And here, if I sub in 5 into the bottom, 5 squared is 25. 25 minus 30 is -5. -5 plus 5 is 0. So I'll have minus 4 divided by 0, which is again a negative infinity. Then we can't do this because it's an indeterminate case. So I'm going to again do the same steps. I'm going to factor. Can't factor this first one over here, but the second one over here can be factored by a trinomial. So what multiplies to 5 adds to -6. It's -5 and -1. And then to make a common denominator, I'm going to multiply the top and bottom over here by x minus 1. So let's rewrite this out now with a common denominator. Common denominator is x minus 5, x minus 1, and in the top I have 1 times x, which is just x, and 1 times -1, which is -1. And then I have minus 4 left over there. I guess I can look at this step. Combine like terms in the top, so lim x approaches 5, and I have x minus 5 over x minus 5, x minus 1. Next step is kind of obvious. I can cancel these out. I'm just left with lim x approaches 5, 1 over x minus 1. And then I can just sub in my limit, which is going to be 1 over 5 minus 1, which is just 1 over 4. Pretty easy steps there. Let's go to this third question over here. I have -4 over here. So if I sub in -4 squared is 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. So then we have 8 divided by 0, which is infinity. Then we have plus 1 divided by -4 plus 4 is 0. So we have 1 divided by 0, which is also infinity. Now, infinity plus infinity is actually infinity. So is this my solution to this question? Well, technically not. So again, this is a bit of a tough question. It's most likely not going to appear on your test. But if it does, you want to do the same steps of common denominator. And the reason why is because we've kind of done these questions all in a simple way. Because technically, 1 divided by 0 does not have to be infinity. I believe it can also be negative infinity as well. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just infinity. But again, this question here, the reason why we can't assume this is true is because when we reach a situation like this, we have to evaluate whether the left side and right side are the same limit and things like that. And we have to evaluate separately. We can't just assume it's infinity, because if you have an asymptote in math, your graph can be going up on the left side, on the right side, and down on the right side. So without getting into all the details, because again, all of that is not really important unless you're doing like an AP math course, you just want to notice that you need to do a common denominator here. And this is not the right solution, even though it's not an indeterminate case. So lim x approaches -4. Again, I'll just factor this. So this is just x plus 4, x minus 4, factoring by difference of squares, plus 1 over x plus 4. To make a common denominator, I need to multiply the top and bottom over here by x minus 4. So now in my next step, we have the common denominator is just x plus 4, x minus 4. And then in the top, I have 8, and then this is plus 1 times x, which is plus x, and plus 1 times -4, which is -4. And combine my like terms in the top. You just have x plus 4, plus 4, x minus 4. Then I can cancel out these. So I'm just left with 1 over x minus 4. And then it's just 1 over -8, which simplifies to -1 over 8. And that is my final solution to this question here. So again, just want to reiterate, even though we didn't have an indeterminate form here, if you see a question like this where it's possible to create a common denominator, you should do it first to see whether you get a simplified solution or not. If you do, this is the answer. If you don't get a simplified solution, then you can just assume that the answer is infinity. But again, it's a bit more complicated. I don't want to say that. But again, in this course, you don't have to get into the details. If you made it to the end of this video and you found this content helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.